We are waiting to see whether or not Nikola Jokic is going to be suspended for Game 5. Now, what happened? He got into a bit of an altercation with the new Suns owner. This is a guy named Mat Ishbia. He's been the owner for like 5 minutes. He was the owner. Basically, and 24 hours later, he was trading for Kevin Durant. And, like, that's all we know about the guy, basically. He was in the front row. Ball goes out of bounds.
Yep.
Guys are running for it. And after Jokic kind of follows Josh Okogie out of bounds, the owner is holding the basketball, and Jokic tries to wrestle it away. Now, what happens is Jokic then gives the owner a forearm shiver. Basically, the owner takes a flop back into the seat. All that to say this. Jokic can't put his hands on anybody. And we could say that the owner's distasteful or you don't like what he did. What's the bottom line? The bottom line is you can't touch anybody.
Oh, my God.
So if he gets suspended today, he only has himself to blame.
So you're saying you think he should be suspended, or you're saying
the NBA could do this if they want? I didn't think Draymond was going to get suspended, by the way, so don't listen to me. But Draymond, when he stepped on Sabonis' chest, they cited his long history and all that.
And that was ridiculous, too. And that caused problems for them because then they weren't suspending guys for the same thing. Here is my problem with it. I don't care if it's the owner or the fans. The fans are so close on an NBA court. You have to act with decorum when you're up that close. And I don't think it was a real forearm shiver. I mean, come on.
He pushed him away.
I mean, if he wanted to really hit him, he could have. So, honestly, I blame the owner. I thought the owner was way out of bounds to be holding the ball like that. You're in the front row. Nobody knows you're the owner. You're a new owner. So you can't all of a sudden grab the ball and not give it back to a player. As someone who's recently been in the front row of a playoff game, there's a certain
nice.
There's a certain etiquette.
Let me pick that up for you. Just drop the.
Oh, you mean when I was sitting there with Timothy Chalamet and Keegan-Michael Key,
courtside Perloff?
Yeah, the three of us, we were hanging, we were having a good time, but we weren't drunk and we weren't getting in the way of the game. You have to admit, the NBA is insane how close these people are. It's totally one of the most bizarre sports situations. And now everyone there is famous. So I really think that the owner, the Suns owner, Ishbia, kind of crossed the line, more so than Jokic.
Okay, so here's how it sounded. Let's play a little bit of it. If my description wasn't good enough for you, here's how it sounded on the broadcast last night.
To walk into this building and not see his smiling face as Phoenix turns it over. Now, boy, Jokic, a little bit of contact. Boy, that potentially could get dangerous.
I think Jokic was just trying to get the basketball from the crowd, and crowd a little upset about that. And
boy, right into the area where Suns owner Mat Ishbia is seated just to our left in that corner as security quickly trying to step in and defuse the situation.
A little bad boy action there from Mat Ishbia from Detroit.
So Ishbia does hang on to the ball. I think you could have given Ishbia like a delay of game or something like that. He can't be holding on the ball like that.
You can't give a fan a delay of game.
Well,
and at that point, he's a fan. Yeah, but is he acting as part of the team then?
Yes, I think that if you wanted to do double technicals, so Jokic did get called for a technical foul because he pushed the owner. He gave him like the forearm to the point where the guy kind of flopped back into his seat. But I think that because you're the owner and because you are associated with the team, yes, the team would be also assigned a technical foul. They could have done that. But here's the thing, like what we cannot lose sight of here. When the Suns player goes out of bounds as he's trying to save the ball, but then the ball goes out of bounds and he's like basically, wrapped up with the camera guy and, trying to detangle himself. Murray, basically just Jamal Murray walks away. You watch him walk away. He doesn't try to, he doesn't need to help the guy up. He's being helped. I said he's detangling himself from everyone in the front row. He walks away. It's Jokic who then flies in to try to get the ball. What do you think you were going to do there?
He's starting a fast break. He's trying to inbounds it like a soccer player.
It wasn't. They weren't going to let you do that, I don't think, because they were all detangling. So many things were happening in the corner. No, I don't think you were going to get your 5-on-4 that you wanted there.
I think you're right, and I think Jokic was actually acting quite insane in that little thing.
Thank you.
But it wasn't harmful. I don't think, honestly, I totally understand what he was doing. He was trying to get the pace going. It was a weird, intense game.
It was.
If he hadn't done a little elbow, then nobody would be even talking about this. Here's my question for you. If that was, are we treating this situation differently because it's the owner and not a normal fan?
No, I think if it was a normal fan, I think Jokic would definitely, I think the fan would have gotten kicked out. There was another fan, by the way, that was kicked out because he reached over the front row to kind of touch Jokic. That's a no-no. You can't touch these guys. Obviously, we don't have to say that. And then, so he got kicked out. And then I think that if these were all regular, if he was a regular fan, I think he's getting kicked out for sure. And I think Jokic is still facing the same thing, to suspend him or not suspend him, because you can't touch people. And I know that he's like, well, he touched me first on my hip. He's holding the ball. I mean, come on.
Well, I think, though, the problem is if you're going to suspend him for that, these fans are right there. LeBron was sitting down the other day. Did you guys notice there was an 11-year-old
girl? 2 little girls.
Were right next to LeBron. I'm like, why did LeBron find another seat knowing the camera was on him the whole time? That was so insane.
No, I thought, man, is this kind of these little girls were adorable.
Yeah.
They looked like they were 11 and 12. I think that courtside seats might be wasted on kids that young.
Well, I had a sense that their parents had a lot of money. I don't know what I was basing that on. Yeah. But I do think that you have to send a message to these fans, you got to be on your best behavior up there. And even the owner, they were sort of instigating. I think the owner was instigating. And that's what my problem is. So if you suspend the Joker for this game, which they're not going to do, I don't think, because they cannot afford to. He's a big star. You're right. We were both wrong about Draymond.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you suspend Joker, who's going to watch this game?
Well, I mean, but has the NBA really acted that way before? You go back to the famous Suns-Spurs series where Robert Horry hip-checks Steve Nash into basically into the wall, whatever it's called. And Amari Stoudemire and Boris Diaw both leave the bench. They end up getting suspended. San Antonio ends up winning that game 5 and I believe won the series in 6. The NBA didn't give a crap then.
Everyone loves to bring that up because I think it's an apologetic way of saying Steve Nash's MVP vote wasn't that bad. Because the Suns would have made the finals otherwise. Yeah. It was still the Spurs. Yeah.
The Suns got totally screwed in that
was, and then the same thing happened with the Knicks and the Heat. I think Ewing missed a key game. Yep. I can't remember who did. In the 90s, everybody was missing games for
Charlie
this
Ward. P.J. Brown flipping Charlie Ward in 97. That was a 3-1 series, and the Heat won the rest of the games.
Came back from 3-1 down.
And obviously, Draymond and LeBron, we talk about that all the time. In 2016, that was the big thing. You know what? This is... I'm sorry, Booker was too good. I'm sorry, Jokic was too good against Booker. The NBA cannot let that storyline go away. 2 of the hottest players in the postseason we've ever seen. They're not going to suspend the Joker on this one.
They don't care. I really don't think they care. Maybe they should care, but they don't. But you're right. I mean, Booker's game was unbelievable. He's been so good in this postseason. And Joker had an unbelievable game, 53, and they still lose. So now the series is all tied up.
It's amazing. The Suns coach, I was wondering, Monty Williams, does he know what he's doing by letting Joker score? Is he saying it's going to take the rest of the team out? Because he's not trapping Joker nearly enough.
No, Joker has one-on-ones. I'm telling you, that floater shot that he has from the baseline, it's the new Kareem Skyhook. That thing never misses. How does he do it?
Oh, he'll float it from anywhere. He could be 18 feet away from the basket. He does not miss shots, except he missed one at the end that kind of helped the Suns out. He is unbelievable. Booker's unbelievable. Durant played unbelievably yesterday. Yeah. You gotta keep the party going because this is probably, well, we'll see what the Lakers Warriors do. This is probably the best series right now. 2-2, and you really don't. You're not positive who's going to win.
No, it's not. It's totally up for grabs now that it's tied 2-2. I mean, it was looking bleak there for Phoenix when they went down 0-2. Obviously, I think that. Listen. Is this the best series left? I got to think about that. Warriors-Lakers still has a shot. It's just the Warriors, I'm assuming that it's going to be their absolute best effort tonight. It has to be. This has got Steph game written all over it. I don't know if he's going to drop 50, but I bet it's going to be at least 35. This is just how it goes.
But this, you know what, though? This is just players playing at the peak of their games. They didn't miss a shot the entire second half. That was the earlier game wasn't like that. Wasn't it 97-87 in game 2, which is weird.
I know.
I've never seen. I think Joker, Booker, and Durant are so incredibly skilled. The Lakers-Warriors is a much uglier series.
No, and now, I mean, between the 76ers and Boston, took overtime.
That's a mess.
That is not
I love it, but it's a mess. Okay. And then anything with the Knicks is immediately ugly.
Well, that's a mess, too. We'll get to EJ with, I'm assuming, a lot of crying on the Knicks podcast after that game. Okay, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. The focus is really, until we find out what the NBA is going to do, Are they going to suspend Jokic? And to be honest, it's after 3 o'clock Eastern time. This game is tomorrow. I mean, they've got to make a decision here fast. So we want to hear from you. Do you think that Jokic was in the wrong like I do? Listen, you might not like the owner. You might think he's this, entitled billionaire, whatever, took a flop in the front row. But the bottom line is you can't put your hands on anybody. And Jokic did not have to shove him like that with the forearm. Or do you believe, like Perloff, that
was a love tap? That was nothing. If he wanted to shove him, Joker weighs 300 pounds. He was close to it. He could have really shoved him.